X was hospitalized after he was arrested while naked on the streets of LA.
Yes, get my good side. Every side. It's your boy right here, man. You know what I'm saying? This guy. And this is a picture of him, Lil Nas X, in his Christian era. I don't know if y'all remember that. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of celebrities just saying anything and lying and just making up shit, after Lil Nas X started getting cold and whatever the case may be, and started, you know, getting just to the point where he couldn't release a song that anybody wanted to listen to, he started doing all these antics. And one of them was mocking Christianity. He went out of his way to mock and disrespect and outright troll Christians, much like what Kanye is doing, in my opinion, because, you know, he said very many blasphemous things, and then he came out talking about how Jesus was king. You know what I'm saying? But this was what he called his Christian era. And if you saw in that last article from HuffPost, they were behind him 100%. You know, there he is in his dress holding a Bible. They were behind him 100%. In that article that I just showed with them, it talked about how he was not mocking Christianity. They went out of their way to publish articles saying that he was not mocking Christianity, but exploring it, you know. And this fellow is just doing all kind of stuff. You talk about people who will do anything for attention. Lil Nas X is the poster child for that. You remember when he was pregnant? It won't let me show the image. It's for whatever reason, it won't let me show it. But God. No, but this guy, his antics, you know, he's one of those people, unfortunately, that's more known for antics than he's known for anything else. You know, he had one good song. There it is. And that was in People magazine, one of the biggest magazines in the country. Lil Nas X does a pregnancy shoot. You understand what I'm saying? This is the type of stuff that we're dealing with out here. And unfortunately, you know, they have clearly a media that will back and support them when they do all of this type of stuff. And so, you know, this is what we have to safeguard ourselves against. And when you keep doing that type of stuff, you end up here. Okay, he was caught walking in his drawers in the streets of LA night before last. And he's walking down the street, you know, singing, and, you know, he's got on his drawers and some cowboy boots, and he's singing, he's making a fool of himself. And, you know, he's, of course, you know, it's indecent exposure, whatever the case may be. The cops came and, you know, they were trying to get him together, you know, because he just looked crazy. He looked like he was on drugs, whatever. He looked crazy. And eventually, you know, he took off his underwear and he was walking around the streets just butt ass naked with some cowboy boots on. And what happened is they ended up arresting him because he punched a police officer. He punched him twice. He punched the officer in the face and whatever. And, you know, they don't have that. You know, you hit a cop, you going down. And so they booked him and whatever. And eventually they took him to the hospital first. And, you know, because it was a suspected overdose that was making him behave like that, whatever. And then they released him from the hospital right into custody. It was a whole thing, you understand? And this is what happens when you play with God. You know, that's what happens when you play with God, bro. It's really unfortunate that had to happen like that. But this guy, he will do anything for a little bit of attention. You know, when you're a no talent hack and you got to get out here and do that type of stuff, this is where it ends, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Y'all could cook on that for a minute. That was very disturbing, but that's all everybody's been talking about for the past couple of days.
Well, you know, it goes back to the connection between him and Kanye. They both had serious situations with their mother being lost, right? So he's another guy who lost his mother as well. From what I remember about his mother's situation, it was very horrible. I think that was one of the reasons why he was so quick to be an industry plant, because he was actually at rock bottom. I think he was homeless or something like that in the midst of when they discovered him. So it was easy for him to take a check. And I could get real deep into it of why systemic racism and white supremacy love to keep black people, black folks in a financial apartheid state because it's easy to control you. It's easy to get you to do things for them without them forcing you to do it. And you end up destroying your peoples over a check. And that's basically what they used Lil Nas X for, was for propaganda, to destroy society's norms, and also to keep the hindrance of black folks procreating by glorifying this black man who's displaying homosexual activities or homosexual tendencies and lifestyle. Nothing wrong with being gay, but you got to understand there's a lot of gay people that don't like Lil Nas X. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to understand that, but think about it, right? Think about it. If you're in a community and somebody's prancing around, you know, displaying themselves and doing stuff that is very provoking to another community, the people within that community don't stand for that. So there's a lot of people in the homosexual community that don't ride with Lil Nas X and don't agree with his agendas that are being pushed behind the big corporate stage. And a lot of people don't really understand that. But I mean, if you don't believe me, hey, that you don't believe me. But I'm telling you exactly what's going on behind the scene when it comes to Lil Nas X, the Sexy Reds, the you know, and all these other industry plants that really ain't come from nothing. Just out of nowhere became instant fame. You don't blow big like that out of nowhere like that. So you got to understand that all of this is orchestrated. To me, Lil Nas X is using this Christianity, and I'm gonna land my plane with this. He's using the Christianity because he burnt his bridge on the other side. And because he burnt his bridge on the other side and being used and abused, now psychologically, he's so messed up that he has to come back to the Christian side, not because he wants to, but because he understands that black people are very forgiving and will coddle him and have people out here campaigning for him if they see that he's coming back to the Christian side. Oh, he's trying to change his ways. You know, God said, don't judge. Don't be the first one to throw the rock. So it's now coming back over to try to get the graces of the black folks after you done tried to shit on them for the long run. And I'll let
that was then, because that was a couple years ago when he did the whole Christian era thing. That was then, and I do agree that's probably you know what he was doing there. But his mom, just to clarify for the people who are watching, his mom is still alive, but she's homeless, like she's a drug addict. So maybe that's what you meant by losing her. I don't know.
I mean, she's pretty much out of it from what I understand. Subconsciously, she's not even in. He's basically had to fend for himself for a long time because of her drug addiction, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
no, it's, and that is tragic. You know, I hate to hear about that happening to anybody. You know, it's very, very tragic. It's really hard to hear, but you know, I would say, you know, we got to find better ways to deal with that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this is not it. He's going to destroy himself before it's over with. It's your boy. I you know, when you see that, I don't know what you know. Just,
I gotta make the Bill Cosby face. That was crazy. Face that was like the crazy thing for me is, and I really see why the old heads used to say, "Just keep living, boy." I thought the story in the video was the craziest thing that I was gonna see and hear. But what blew my mind is the fact that he did all that, clear out his mind. He assaulted a cop not once but twice, and all he got hit was misdemeanors.
Dude, when you got them folks working with you,
now, if that ain't the evidence right there, I don't know what is. This is 2025. Let me double check my calendar right here, my watch. It's right 25. In what day and age does a black man in California slap up the CHP, slap up a police officer?
Come on now.
and get hit with a so no resisting arrest?
None of that.
This man is, there's several different charges going on. He's clearly disturbing the peace.
Mm-hmm.
I know every place has their own different wordings of it, but he's disturbing the peace. That's public indecency.
Yeah.
Man should probably be on some registry. I mean, he not just the drawers, he took the drawers off and was letting it all hang out.
Yeah.
So there's public indecency. If there was a substance involved, he's getting booked for that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's mental illness that doesn't validate the previous two charges, and then he puts hands on a police officer, and all you walk out with is a misdemeanor.
Yo,
I know there are so many brothers right now that got locked up on Friday evening that wish that the only charge they got was a misdemeanor.
Facts. Facts.
You can't
Look,
make this stuff up, boy.
When you're an Illuminati booty snatcher, hey, you dig? This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the protection.
When you volunteer for bussy duty, boy, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
But hey, yeah, this is a dude who, from his inception, it's always been abundantly clear that he's going to make a career for himself off of controversy. He has no talent to speak of. He has none. So
Facts.
The only way he can possibly be relevant, make a name, make a buzz for himself, is to do crazy, insane, inane acts, make outlandish songs, and do things to keep his name out there. Because unfortunately, the three adages of attention are always true. You can always make a profit off of sex, death, and controversy. And unfortunately, controversy doesn't matter what it is. It's the lowest hanging. It's not even low hanging fruit. It's fruit that's off the tree, rolled in the dirt, full of rot and filth on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always going to sell, unfortunately.
Always.
And the media will always be right there to go with it, because the media always runs off of the narrative of if it bleeds, it leads. So there's no ethics, there's no compassion or compunction, there's no obligation or morality to the people in the public health. It's just, hey, this is going to get eyeballs, so let's run with it.
Yeah.
So, he's always going to have himself an audience until people just no longer are checking for what he wants to hear. And then we know how white supremacy moves. They always X their tools when they're done using them.
Yeah.
But thus far, he's proven that he is a ready, willing, and able tool. And I'm glad you mentioned that about his mother. I didn't know that was the situation with his mother. These parasites, they like to creep in on the broken. Mm-hmm. They like to see a person that's down on the luck, that they're going through it. They like to stick their face, because, and I think we spoke about this before, when you up high, you can't get touched with that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's why I always say, don't ever go into the supermarket hungry, because when you're hungry, you're going to go for anything. But when you have principles, when you're up high, when you're not needy, you can't be easily assuaged. So this is one of the reasons why it might not happen in a public case where they're giving you deals to be a plant, but even in your regular everyday life, there are people that only like to be around you because they see that you're down. They want to prey off of you. Folks, Kanye, and now not Lil Nas, whatever. It's important when you're going through it, please seek help.
Yeah.
There is no shame in saying that you need help. There's strength in saying that you need help. It's a sign of strength, because you're saying, I'm not ready to throw the towel in just yet. I want to still keep on fighting, but I need some backup. I need some reinforcements to go ahead and fight this fight. Please seek help, seek treatment, seek therapy if you need it. If you have a medical diagnosis, please take your medication.
Come on now.
If you have loved ones that you know need assistance, they need help, they need therapy, they need to stay on the meds, it's a burden. But if you love that person, take that as your obligation. I want to make sure my person is good. I'm going to be there for them. I'm going to give them whatever support I can so they can be their best self. We have to do this.
Facts. All right. Bobby Drake, you cooked on that. Folks, y'all got it. Y'all, bruh, it's imperative. And like I said, the crying shame about most of these characters, they are destroying their legacies. Conversations 2020.